Obviously, we were really pleased with the way our guys kept their poise and composure when we fell behind by 15 early, and they had the discipline they needed to stick to the game plan. And we have a saying in our program, things are rarely as good or as bad as they seem. So once we regrouped, from that point on, arguably we played our best game of the year. Our second half defense was terrific. Our transition game, as well as our execution of sets, was outstanding. We had a number of guys who gave us fabulous performances. I mean, what more can I say about Eric Jacobson? I mean, a double-double, 16 points, 12 rebounds, 6 offensive rebounds, 4 assists, 3 block shots, only 1 turnover, and he played post defense like he should be. And I mean this seriously, a candidate for National Defensive Player of the Year, if there is such a thing, in early December. He helps so much in so many ways that you'll never see on this stat sheet. We continue to shoot the ball well from 3. I thought Cody Justice took another step in the right direction as a young emerging guard for us. He plays 30 minutes, 6 assists, no turnovers, gets 5 rebounds, makes shots, and so many times, even though he may not have recorded an assist on paper, he's doing such a good job of, hitting the man up the floor who's open. So I was really pleased with the team's effort tonight.
Did you recruit Cody as a point guard, or did you see him playing more off the ball?
There was always some murmuring that he could play point guard. But to be honest with you, I wasn't convinced. And if I, just have to put my right hand up and for full disclosure, it probably wasn't until a good month into practice, maybe early November-ish, before we even gave him some reps there this year. And so, maybe we missed the boat, but fortunately it looks like we've discovered that he could do that and do it very well.
With Eric Jacobson, was the writing on the wall early in that preseason camp, knowing that he's going to have such a strong start?
Once again, it's just a great story of perseverance. In a day and time when so many of us, want things sooner rather than later, when so many guys are quick to pull the plug and transfer. Eric played very little as a freshman. Last year, his minutes came largely as a backup to Jordan, although we did play them together some. And now all of a sudden he's a junior, and not unlike Jeff Ayers and Eric Boateng and Jordan Baczynski, he's developed into a tremendous front court player for us. You can't underestimate how athletic he is. He may not pass the superficial eye test with that, but for a man his size, he moves his feet exceptionally well. And I just said on the radio that he has to be one of the 2 smartest players I've ever coached. His basketball IQ is incredible, but it's particularly gratifying for me as a coach, because every day we juggle guys' hurt feelings, we juggle playing time, we juggle expectations, we set records for transfers. To see a guy stay the course like Eric is refreshing, isn't it?
Who would be the other smart player? Eric and...
See, if I don't name them, there's a lot of guys who are thinking, yeah, that's me. If I name them, then my coverage is blown.
Have you found your point guard, you think, Herb?
Yeah, I mean, right now, each game I think we learn more about our team. That's the advantage of playing the kind of schedule we are. Like, we came back from Kansas City with our head between our legs, having lost 2 tough games, both very winnable. But the silver lining was we learned about ourselves, and we were able to go back to practice and implement some things that perhaps you know, with a softer early schedule, you have a better record in some cases, but maybe you don't discover it till a later time. And I thought there was that silver lining from Kansas City, that we learned some hard lessons as coaches about what we had to do next to help our team. And certainly, you know, Cody continues to gain confidence and play better and better. And, you know, he was terrific tonight. What can you say?
You did some different things offensively tonight. Was there any backstory to that?
Yeah, I think that's one of the things we came away from, you know, in our most recent series of games, Chris. You know, especially in the second half, to be able to help our guys a little bit more from the bench. You know, we're predominantly a motion team, which means we're not calling plays. Our guys have freedom within a framework to make plays. But there are instances that we've really tried to, you know, help them a little bit more. And obviously it's a little bit easier to do in the second half when your offense is in front of you. It's a little more difficult, especially with so many new guys when the offense goes away from you. I think that's easier for a veteran team to do in the first half. That's one of the things I think we're continuing to learn about our team.
Ballpark, just a number, how many charges Eric has taken?
Yeah, I don't know. It's got to be as many as we've had by any single player since maybe the other guy that comes to mind, you guys know better than me, would be Jeff Ayers. He's another guy that always was doing that. But, I mean, Eric's got to be up there with the best of them.
Character-wise, how much does it help you as a coach to have so many unselfish players and not so many egos on this team?
It just makes it fun to coach. You know, it makes it fun to coach. I mean, I wouldn't trade our team for any other team because I enjoy being in the gym with this group. I'm not saying we're the best team. Obviously, we're not. You know, we still have a lot of work ahead of us. But in terms of just having a team that's easy to cheer for, a team that we can all be proud of, a team that I love being in the gym with, this group has been as good as we've had. You know, I can honestly tell you on December 3rd, we haven't had one day. Think about this. This is a ridiculous statement. One day where even one guy hasn't had anything less than a good attitude. That's remarkable. I mean, like, I don't know that I could, I mean, like, most parents can't say the same thing about their own kids.
Cody has a little flash to his game. How much flash are you willing to tolerate?
As long as he doesn't turn it over, I'm fine. You're talking about that behind the back pass in the first half? Fine, as long as you complete it.
12 from 14 from the line. Something you guys been working on at all?
Yeah. Well, we thought we'd take the opposite approach. We were so bad. I came back and I said, if I see anybody practicing a free throw, I'm going to lock the gym. You know, we went with mental refresher. We said, we've been practicing free throws one after another, and look what we're doing. So we just went cold turkey, no free throw shooting.
What did you see? Did Cody step up in practice? I mean, what did you identify in him as the...
You know, the one thing he has going for him, Jack, is he's fearless. He's fearless. I mean, and when he does make mistakes, he's unflappable. I mean, he just has that something you can't give him. I mean, he just, you know, I think in today's popular vernacular, he has swag. In a good way.
Coach, you go on the road again next week, and what are you looking forward to when you go on the road since you guys haven't won on the road yet?
Yeah, trying to win one, right? That'd be really good. But obviously another tough test for us. Texas A&M is an outstanding team in the Southeastern Conference. They're expected to be one of the better teams in that league this year. And it's our first true road test, having played 2 games at a neutral site. And we have a short turnaround. You know, we're going to practice tomorrow, again on Friday, then we're going to fly to College Station, and I mean the tip-off is I think 1 o'clock Central Time, which will be noon for our guys, you know, noon for our guys who are accustomed to Mountain Time. So you know, we can enjoy this victory tonight for another couple hours, and then, you know, tomorrow morning we'll be here, and we have a short amount of time to prepare for A&M.
Bo and John have been a lot more aggressive with their shot selection lately, tonight in particular in transition. When does it get to the point where you would rather them pull it out and get into the offensive
Well,
sets?
I mean, you always got to take into account time and score, but those guys are proven shooters. So we just have a simple rule. When you're open and you're uncontested, shoot it. If you're not open or it's contested, move it. And for those two guys. But if they're open, you know, I want our guys playing with confidence, and I want those guys who could really shoot to not hesitate. And it doesn't seem to be a problem for those two guys.
So earlier in the second half when they were letting it fly a little bit more and they weren't going down, what was your feelings?
I mean, I thought there was maybe one shot in front of our bench that I wouldn't have liked to see, you know. But by and large, they were open shots, and so I don't have a problem with that. I mean, part of the thing we've been talking about, right, is the tempo we're playing with on offense, and I mean, you are sometimes going to miss a quick shot. I did think though. Remember I called the timeout after the first few possessions. We were down 7-2, I think. The only reason I called that timeout was I think in our first 3 or 4 possessions, the most we passed the ball on any given possession was twice. And that's not Sun Devil basketball. That doesn't mean on occasion somebody's not going to be wide open on 1 or 2 passes. But to start the game with multiple possessions where we made such a few number of passes, I didn't see that leading in a good direction for us.